When I'm creating and I look back on my process, the first thing I always notice are the things that I should have done better with. You know, like I should have had a stronger word here in a script, or I should have emphasized a different part when acting, or I should have trusted my gut, because now I'm looking back on the footage as a director and I'm like, man, I knew we should have just, tried something else. And that's the same with the music. Perfectionism is something that comes with the territory of being an artist. And I feel like if you're creating something, there's this notion that was put into your head or that you thought of at some point, and you were like, I want to be an artist because then I'll be able to create worlds. And I'll be able to make things exactly the way that I want to make them. Every choice is going to be deliberate, and it's going to make sense, and it's going to be perfect, and it's going to be this cathartic, rewarding feeling where you started with nothing and then you have the world in your hands. But the journey in between there is not as dramatic in execution. Sometimes it's just so straightforward as recording something and then putting it out that very same day or the day after, and you're like, all right, that's that. And you just let it live its life. Because that's kind of just what you have to do. There's a sort of, how do you put it? It's like you're trying to make every decision matter, and in doing so, you sort of stop yourself from making any decision. Artists should be moving freely. They should be moving from one thing to the next. You should always be finishing, but you should be moving, because that's the only way that you're really gonna pick up on what it is that you want to do. I spent a year, about 2 years ago, where I got to do something I never thought I would be able to. I got to perform, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. It felt like a sign that I was supposed to take this thing super seriously. So every day I made a song. Something different, something new. Just every day I would be able to make something. And I always had like inspiration, because at this time, I'm telling you, it was a whirlwind of just being able to like find all of these people that were just pushing stuff out. Like Kenny Beats, when he was streaming on Twitch, he would just, make beats, and there would be like YouTube highlights of like his creation process, and that was the most inspiring thing that I could have seen, because he was just, he knows what he's doing. And it's like, I didn't even think that was something that you could do. Just real obvious shit, real easy stuff that it's like, of course you could do that. Why wouldn't you do that, when you're doing something and you've done it for so long, you start going with the motions, you know? And when you go with emotions, you're playing it safe. We shouldn't have to play safe. We should be pushing our boundaries because that's the main thing that we even wanted to do. You know, we're wearing all these different hats and we're just dreaming about all these like insane ideas that feel so impossible, yet they're incredibly attainable. Like, I think about this often. Like, if I was faced with my 10-year-old self, he could not fathom the things that I've been able to do. And I find a certain comfort in that. But then I also have to think of like the opposite. You know, what am I going to do 10 years from now? And there's a part of me that's scared because I'm old enough to have enough hindsight and realize that some decisions were painful and frustrating. But through those decisions and through that learning, I was able to find some very rewarding aspects about myself. But now you're moving with like this like self-awareness. So it's the same thing of trying to make every decision seem perfect and seem like every decision matters, because now you understand that all these decisions did matter. They led you right to this point. So now you're thinking, okay, now that I know that every decision matters, what am I going to do next? And where is it going to take me? When 10 years from now is inevitable. Whether you make the decision or not is gonna have no bearing on the time going by anyway. So if it's a stupid decision, if it sounds like it doesn't make sense, if it feels like it just won't work, you gotta turn those feelings into facts. You gotta at least try it, you know? If you feel something doesn't work, why don't you prove that it doesn't work, and you might find out that it actually does. Or you might find out that it doesn't work because there was something holding it back. And now that you found that one thing that was holding it back, you can eliminate it, rework it, or move on to something else, because now you have reached a definitive end to that idea. We treat ideas like stars in the sky, things that we'll never be able to attain and really have in our hands. It's never something that's going to be tangible, when they very well could be. And I'm saying this for me, like this right now. I don't know what this is. You know, it's nerve-wracking, the whole thing. I wanted to show something. I have a few, but I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 or 3. Probably just the 2. Well, let's see. Right. I made this July 31st of 2023 and have been coming back to it here and there, never knowing what else I could do with it. So that's my obstacle, and I'm going to work around it and just let it live. So this is Rise. I hope it's good. I can't sing. I wish I could. I can do that, like, kind of sing. You know, like, I can, like, kind of carry a tune, but I am tone deaf, which is not fun. You know, harmonizing isn't easy. And that's something I also want to work on. I don't know how to do that alone. But you know, some things you just cannot do alone. Sometimes there just isn't a roadmap that tells you, hey, if you just do these things, you'll know how to get to your end result. And it's like you have to branch out and be comfortable in knowing you're not comfortable doing this thing, and being able to reach out to other people that know what they're doing. It helps to know other people. It helps to rely on other people. Like, I'm all for the multi hyphenate. Oh, what a genius. We'll never have another guy like him. Oh, how did he think of this? And he's able to do all of that. Like, I had that ingrained in my head, and it was like frustrating when you can't get an idea right, because you're just not gonna be good at the same things that other people are good at. Like I can't sing currently, but I'm sure that if I trained, if I found a teacher that was able to work with me, then I could get that. I just haven't. But there's certain things that I just don't understand. And like, it's always with practice. You always, that's what it helps to have practice. Like, I can't play the guitar. I bought one and it just sits in its bag. It's a lovely color. I pick it up every now and then because I'm like, today's the day, and the day is still coming. But I was able to pick a piano. You know, that whole thing is something that I really pride myself in, because it was something that I wished I was able to do when I was first starting music production, was not having to rely on loops. Not, there's nothing wrong with that, but that was just a goal of like being able to not have to rely on pre-made items to make something of my own. And that's the only thing I do now. But it's like swinging on the opposite side of the pendulum, where I was relying too much on other people's efforts, that I relied too much on my own efforts. And there's just some things that I don't know how to do yet. So I should still rely on those things until I can do them confidently. I had another song. It's a bit shorter. It's called Ore, O-R-E, like, you know, gold and shit. I think that this is the one where I have a tendency of going for like a lo-fi thing, just because it's accessible. So that this slots into it pretty well. So this is Ore. something groovy, something, little, you know, little shoulder shake, a little shimmy. Yeah, I've been relying on that kind of vibe. So the thing is, I need to branch out from the kind of stuff that I make. This year is me pushing my boundaries and being more comfortable in situations that I don't have the skill set for yet. I want to meet new people, people that can help me get better at this, you know. I just want to create. That's it. That's the thing that I want to do, and I've seen it happen for other people. Putting out into the world what you want to receive. So uh, I'll keep at this. Just putting more stuff out there, and maybe, hopefully, somebody somewhere out there is like, hey, that's pretty cool. What else you got? And I'd be happy to show it off. But we're not there yet. Right now we're all about building the comfort. That's fine. Can't do good work if you're not comfortable with who you are and where you are. Can't move forward if you don't know where you are.